All of these components were created with a process that really fast-tracked your workflow. What makes this different is the speed of iterations. Newform is a component builder. You only need to describe what you need, like a hero section, a pricing card, CTA block, or even smaller components like buttons or any other pattern, and it's going to generate it as a fully working production-ready code. It will also come with a animation, so the components will be ready to be dropped straight into any project that you're working on. You either start with a fresh prompt or you remix something from the community page or something that you created before from your own library. The process is really optimized for quick iteration, so you can create multiple components with multiple styles at the same time so that you can always have unique components to work with and have a broader style to choose from. The remix feature can give you super creative elements that helps a lot during the inspiration process, as well as the animation. It gives really great animations. So the first thing that you see here is the home page. So this is where all of your creations, like every designs that you create, is going to be displayed. So the nice thing about this is that these designs are displayed with the animation, so you can easily preview all the components, all the designs that you created with the animation. So sometimes just a screenshot is not enough because you want to see how everything works together, how it is presented, like maybe the entrance animation. So this is really, really good. And this is where you're going to keep all of your designs and where you're going to organize it as well. So here on the left, we see a projects feature. So this is for organization. So this will allow you to create folders. So for example, you can organize your designs with, into sections. For example, the hero section, CTA or pricing. You can also organize by types of components you have. For example, here I created the cards and animations and, other different component as well. So this really, you can create it your way and you can name it anything you want. So this is the folder that we just created. And when you want to put a component in the folder, then it's as simply as drag and drop. So for example, you take this design and you put it in here and there it goes. It's in there. This will allow you to also organize your folders into like projects. So for example, if you're working on a project and you want all of the designs, the components that you want on that particular project or a website, for example, then you can create a folder and put, for example, your hero section, the features section, and then the pricing, this call to action. And you can also put the cards, the buttons, and any designs that you found very, very nice and useful, then you can just organize and put it into this folder so that you don't have to go through all of these components and, search them one by one. Because this platform makes it so easy to create variations, create components that you will end up with a lot of components, right? A lot of iterations, a lot of windows like this. And then when you find something that you really like, then you can just make sure to put it into your folder or your project and then have, separate folders for different project as well. So this is very useful for that. So another great way to organize your project is to hide the ones that you don't really like or the ones that you won't use. So there's a feature here where you can hide it. You simply click on this and it's going to be removed from your view here, your home page. But the nice thing about this is that you can always come back to it. It's not deleted. So we have the hidden page here where you're going to see all the, the components that you've hidden before. And you always have, the possibility to unhide any elements. So this is useful because, instead of deleting a component, then you just hide it. So there's no way that you can lose your component by mistake, for example. So when building a component, everything starts here at the bottom. So you have your prompting area here when you can paste your prompt or, write your prompt and, be as specific as possible because AI works better if it has more context. And the more specific you are about something, for example, if you're fixing something and you specify something really specific, then it's going to do a great job. So then at the bottom, we have this model selector. We have different model providers. So, the big ones, Gemini, OpenAI, and Claude. You notice that this one, you have to be a pro to use this. And it also uses 2 times more prompt because this model is more expensive. We also have this Kimi K2 model. So then you can also have the possibility to attach a file. So for example, this it could be an HTML file or a markdown file, a design system that you got from somewhere else, and you want that to be part of context of your component. Then you can do this right here. And of course, you can also attach an image. So it could be a screenshot. It could be like from a mood board. It could be from one of your design. So, anywhere that you find an image and you find it really useful and really nice, and you want to integrate that into your component so you have the same style and have it as context for the AI to create this component in particular. Now let's talk about a great feature, which is called the skills. And the skills are essentially, they are prompts that are going to be injected into your generation where it's going to follow a certain style. So here, for example, the most used skill is called a border gradient. So we can click here and then we can view the actual prompt. So we can see the actual prompt. So this here is to apply a subtle gradient border. So we have the preview here, which we can see what it's going to look like and what it's going to generate on your design. And we can, have a look at different skills. Here, the second one is this I find really useful, which is Aura asset images. And yeah, so when you click on a skill, that you can use multiple skills. So when you click on it, it's going to add. So everything's going to be, added to your next generation. So this one, the Aura asset, is really great because, instead of having like the super generic and boring images from, let's say, Unsplash that are, super, super overused. And you know what I'm talking about. It's all the same, faces, the same images that you see everywhere. So instead of that, you can use the assets, the image assets from Aura directly. So this will make the design, stand out a little bit more because everyone's tired of those generic images. And it also is going to, give a kind of a production ready and see your design with actual more like customized images. So we can explore a little bit more about the skill. So here you have a skeuomorphic. So it's going to turn it into this kind of design if it's something that you like. And you have another one here which is going to use WebGL and create a laser. So this kind of laser that you want, if you can use it in your background. Very useful. And you can from here you can just explore and see the ones that you like. And we have another corner laser here. This kind of design here, which have this frame grid design system. We have other kind of backgrounds here. And by exploring the skill library, then you might find some stuff, some styles that you never worked with before, or you just don't know the name. So this is great for, again, for inspiration. So this progressive blur is really nice. So there's no, it starts with no blur and then progressively adds more to it. So this is maybe something that you never put in your kind of work or your project. And now with this skill, then you have all the, the full prompt and all the details to make it work. So this is really great for beginners. So there's a community page here, and this is really where you're going to get like most of your inspiration from. Here you can see all the designs that's been created by the community. And every day there's always new designs, so you can come here and really get inspired. And I'm really amazed by all the creativity every time I come here. So there's so many great designs here, and each of them have their own style. This beautiful animation, and we have this one right here as a background. So it's always great to come here in the community page and explore and find beautiful animations or beautiful components that you would use as a baseline for your own project. So on this page, you can remix any component directly. So you have a quick remix here that you can do. So this will bring up the skills that we saw earlier. So this is a quick way to remix a project. So you can use, for example, this one. It's going to show the work here, and we can continue and choose another one. Let's try this one, and you see the second job here working. So this allows you to have 6 parallel work at a time. So it's really useful because while it's working, you can continue browsing and remix and iterate other components while it's working on it. So by the time that maybe you found something that you really like, the work will be done and you can essentially keep on working at a fast pace. So you can go in the homepage and see all the work that is being done right now. So we remixed 3 components and you can see it all here. So now the components are ready. So the first one that we made a quick remix was this one. So we used the corner diagonal skill so we can see that it's been applied on the buttons. And then the second one was this one, which is a light mode with this kind of style. And we can still see the 3D background in the background, but it applied the exact style that was described in the skill. So the last one was this one, and this was the skeuomorphic skill. So it applied it here. You can see it in the buttons. So looking at all this, they work perfectly and they followed the exact skill, the exact prompt that we gave it. So this is a great example on how you can use the skills. And also it shows how quickly you can create this kind of component and iterate with just a couple of clicks. Now back in the community page, the quick remix, you have 2 options. You have the iterate and the remix. So the iterate is when you want to use like the design and really kind of iterate on this one. So keep the same baseline and try a different style, different variation, and it's going to stay closer to the component. And the remix is something you want to use when you don't want to be too much like close to the original components because you don't want like to be like a copy. You want it to be a bit different. Maybe the layout will change and have something truly unique. So this is good because you really have the option to really, if you want to stay closer or kind of like have something completely different. So then we have this one, which is the remix with prompt. So obviously you can prompt it and have it more personalized, more, have custom instructions for your generation. But you also have the skill here that you can use as well. So you can combine any skills just earlier with a quick remix. You can use it here also, and as well as including a custom instruction. And we have the iteration and remix feature as well. So I will be creating more videos about this platform, hands-on walkthrough for building all kinds of components, as well as covering more AI tools and creative workflows that are genuinely worth your time. So drop a comment if you want a deep dive on any specific feature, and I will see you in the next one.